Hi, I'm David Simmons, and I'm going to show you how to cast your feet for speed skates. And so what we do is we will send you a kit, and in this kit you have aluminum strip, plaster rolls, and some gloves. What you're going to have to supply is a razor blade, Vaseline, and some type of foam or towels that you can make nice and soft. I get these at Lowe's or some kind of hardware store. They're for kneeling down in your garden, so it works out pretty good. So the first thing you got to do is get your gloves on, and I've got the water here. I got it in a bucket, and I got it pretty warm so it'll dry really fast. If it's real cold, it's going to take 5 minutes to dry. If it's hot like this, it'll only take a minute. So I got it hot so it will go quickly. Get your gloves on. On the razor blade, I usually take the razor blade and I take the tip of the razor blade and I break it off. So when I'm cutting and I'm poking down, it's dull and I'm not going to poke into somebody accidentally. You don't have to do that, but your customers appreciate it. I put some Vaseline on the strip. Vaseline all over the person's foot, especially if they're real hairy. And especially make sure it gets on the heel, because when you're pulling that casting off this way, it wants to get stuck right here on the heel. So, and let me get some paper towels. So, I forgot, gotta have some paper towels too. Get Vaseline all over your hands, just wipe it off. You don't want to mix the Vaseline into the plaster. This is plaster wrap, just like the old time stuff. When you've got a broken arm, they'd wrap it up in plaster. Now they use fiberglass. It's a lot lighter weight and it's waterproof. This is cheaper stuff and it does exactly what we want it to do. So here's the aluminum strip. Soak it in the water just for 2 seconds at the most. Just squeeze it one time. Don't put it in and rinse all the plaster out of it. If you rinse all the plaster out, it won't ever get hard. So I got a hold of that tail right there. The starting end of it. Put this on their foot. Have the customer lift their foot straight up and down, or straight up. Go ahead, Zoe, lift it up. Just your foot. I start right in the center with the aluminum strip. Just start wrapping it around. You can practice this with a gauze if you want to practice doing this. I usually do a couple of times around the front of the foot. Go around to the back. Keep that aluminum strip straightened right up in the front. It really doesn't matter how you get this on there, just as long as you get it on. So now I've got the middle, the back, and I'm going to work up to the front. This part here, you don't want to get it too tight. If you start pulling it real tight, your toes are all going to get squeezed together. So I just loosely wrap it up. You can see I'm just lightly putting it on. It's not really complicated at all. All you got to do is get it on there. And just by doing that, it's pretty tight around their foot, even though I didn't pull it hard or anything. So rub it real good, kind of massage it in. I got to work kind of fast because it's going to set up real quick. I push the top down. Here's the center of her ankle right there. So I'm 1 inch above the center of her ankle. So I push that down because that makes it nice and thick around the top side. Put their foot down. Just keep rubbing it, make it smooth, take all the wrinkles out. So what they're going to do now is you've got their knee come around to the front. But their knee goes right above their center of their toes right here, right between these two toes. Put that knee bone. And so that's good right there. So she moved forward. Go around to the side view. This is important because this is when you're speed skating, you're leaning forward like this. You're not like this when you get casted. You don't skate like that. You skate like this. Sorry about my dirty old foot. So now it's already starting to get set up hard. And sometimes you have to keep the person, you maybe got to hold their knee just right above there. A lot of times they want to let their knee fold out. So I start right at the top with the razor blade, And that aluminum strip is right down by her toe. And you got to cut every little string in there. And you can feel it, it cuts real smooth. And if they want, even the customer can reach down there and cut it, but they always want me to do it, so. I turn the razor blade backwards sometimes to feel for the strings. All those strings are cut. This is just starting to set up. It's not quite real hard yet, but I want to get this out of the way. Now that it's cut, pull that out, put that back together, keep their leg where it's supposed to be. And it's starting to get hard now, pretty hard. You can hear it, see, it's getting... If you tap it and it sounds like this, it's not hard. If it sounds like that, then it's getting hard. So I want to grab around the Achilles in the back, make sure that it's kind of closed up nice and tight. Now comes the tricky part, is getting it off. The customer is not to do anything. All they do is relax. So what I do is I'll pick up their foot, I'll put my hand here, and I'll pick their foot straight up, straighten it out. I put both thumbs right in top, right in the top side. I'm going to pull it apart, and as I pull it apart, I'm going to pull off with the heel. As I pull with the heel, I'm going to kind of twist it out just a little bit. So I opened it, I'm pulling on the heel. Well, I didn't even have to twist it on that one. Sometimes when your foot's real wide, you got to kind of come out sideways. So it's opened up like this. When it came out, it's all distorted. And if you put your thumbs right back, it'll go right back together right there. And in the Achilles, it opens up a little bit, so it'll kind of go right back to shape, because it's not rock hard. It's only been probably 2 minutes, so that's all there is to it. But now that we did it on a soft surface, the bottom now has the contour. If you cast your feet on the concrete, it's going to be super flat, very uncomfortable, and won't skate right. This is the best way to make the casting. That's all there is to it.